Most people know Simon Cowell as the brutally honest judge who built careers and crushed dreams with just one look. But behind the smug smile and million-dollar TV deals is a story most fans never hear. Because what happened to Simon Cowell after X Factor isn't just a career twist, it's a combination of physical trauma, public backlash, behind-the-scenes feuds, and regrets he can't take back. This is the part of his story they never aired on TV. It was a warm afternoon in August 2020 when everything changed. Simon Cowell, riding a brand new electric bike in the courtyard of his Malibu home, lost control. In just seconds, he hit the ground with enough force to shatter his spine. The accident wasn't just painful, it was nearly catastrophic. He had broken his back in multiple places, and for hours there was genuine fear that he might never walk again. What's eerie is that Simon wasn't speeding or showing off, just testing a new gadget. One wrong move, and suddenly the man known for controlling everything in his life had zero control over his own body. Emergency surgery followed, and surgeons inserted a metal rod into his spine to keep everything in place. Fans were shocked. Tabloids jumped on the story. And Simon? He vanished. But that was just the beginning. While the headlines moved on, Simon was left dealing with something the cameras couldn't capture: recovery. And it wasn't easy. After surgery, he couldn't walk, couldn't sit upright for long, and needed help just getting dressed. For months, he lived in pain. He later revealed in interviews that he feared he'd never return to the stage, or even to a normal life. But here's what shocked even his closest friends. Just weeks after surgery, Simon refused to rely on heavy pain meds. He wanted a clear mind, even if it meant living with more pain. Slowly, day by day, he began walking again. First with help, then with support, eventually unaided. By early 2021, he returned to Britain's Got Talent looking thinner, stiffer, and visibly different, but he was back. Still, his body wasn't the same, and neither was his life. Just as Simon began to physically recover, a new problem crept in, one that couldn't be fixed with surgery: chronic migraines. What started as occasional headaches soon became unbearable, triggered by harsh studio lights. Suddenly, Simon couldn't sit through long filming sessions without flinching or squinting. And during 2024 tapings of Britain's Got Talent, fans noticed something strange. He was wearing red-tinted glasses on set. Some thought it was a fashion statement, but Simon later admitted the real reason. The glasses helped block the intensity of light that triggered his pain. For someone who built a career in the spotlight, the lights were now a source of torture. And that wasn't his only health scare. In a recent interview, Simon casually dropped a bombshell. He claimed to have nearly been killed 12 times during his work on TV. At first, it sounded like an exaggeration, but he wasn't joking. Whether it was malfunctioning equipment, stage hazards, or live taping chaos, Simon said there were moments on set that spiraled out of control. One moment in particular stuck out. During a live stunt on Britain's Got Talent, a prop misfired just feet away from the judges' panel. It was supposed to be safe. It wasn't. Simon brushed it off at the time, but behind closed doors, he was shaken. These weren't just flukes. They were warnings. But what happened off camera would soon prove to be even more explosive than anything live television could capture. Years after X Factor launched one of the biggest boy bands in history, Simon revealed something few fans expected: regret. A lot of it. You see, Simon had signed One Direction early on, helped mold their sound, and owned the rights to the name. But at some point, he let go of that ownership. And when the band exploded, so did the money. Later, when he tried to launch a new group using the One Direction name, he realized he no longer owned it. That decision cost him millions, and the respect of the very artists he helped create. Niall Horan and Louis Tomlinson both unfollowed Simon after the reveal, a silent but powerful message. For someone who once ran the industry like a chessboard, it was a humbling blow. But One Direction wasn't the only act with lingering issues. In recent years, former X Factor contestants have come forward with disturbing stories about what happened behind the scenes. Acts like Jedward, Cher Lloyd, and Rebecca Ferguson publicly criticized Simon's record label, Psycho Music, calling the contracts exploitative and the culture toxic. According to some, contestants were pushed to the brink, overworked, manipulated, and silenced. Even Sharon Osbourne, once a close colleague, unloaded on Simon in a fiery interview. She claimed he dropped her from the show due to ageism and said he became weird, cold, and power-hungry. "You can't trust him," she said bluntly, and she wasn't alone. Kelly Osbourne also recounted a bizarre moment when Simon allegedly had her entire family removed from an American Idol taping just minutes before filming. No warning, no explanation. just gone. It was a silent power play, and it left the Osbournes stunned. So what's really happening behind Simon Cowell's curtain? The man who once controlled the music world now seems surrounded by silence, whispers, and unresolved tension. Simon Cowell was once the kingmaker of pop culture, feared, admired, and always in control. But the last few years have chipped away at that image. From a life-threatening accident to lingering health issues, from artist fallouts to public feuds, he's no longer untouchable. Some say he's changing. Others say the cracks are finally showing. Still, Simon remains on our screens, smiling, judging, and pretending nothing's changed. But now you know the man behind the mask isn't just a media mogul. He's a survivor of his own empire. The question is, how long can he keep the show going?